Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to our esteemed members of the Philippine Infrastructure and Construction Club, our partners from the government, industry leaders, and friends from across the construction and infrastructure sector. It's a pleasure to have you all with us today for the 14th PICC Luncheon. For those I haven't not yet met, I'm Joanne Falcotella, and I'm grateful for your presence and continued support. And I hope this luncheons provides not only valuable insight, but also meaningful opportunities to connect and collaborate. Before we begin, I would like to extend our sincere appreciation to our valued marketing partners. Your continued support plays a vital role in making events like this possible. And we truly thank you for your commitment to PICC and to the growth of our industry. Our supporting partners. So we have the Earth AD, the Marsh, the Sika, Cruz Marcelo and Tenefrancia, Fortune Narvaza and Salazar. Our foundation partner, we have the Fluke Corporation. Distributed in the Philippines by the Chomar Unit Rate, Fluke Corporation is the world leader of industrial tests and measurement tools, network troubleshooting equipment, and precision calibration instrument. From industrial electronic installation, maintenance, and service to precision and quality control. Fluke tools help keep business and industry around the globe up and running. And we also have our principal partner. We have the GHD. Where's the GHD? Can you please raise your hand? Yeah. Okay. GHD has been established permanent presence in the Philippines in 1998. Since then, it has demonstrated its commitment to supporting the private and public sectors in addressing the infrastructure needs in the country. By using technical knowledge and the latest digital tools and resources to deliver integrated planning, design, environmental, construction management, advisory, and digital services. It provides clients with an efficient and intelligent way of doing infrastructure projects. GHD offices in Metro Manila and Cebu are home to over 1,000-strong workforce, comprised of architects, engineers, environmental, social scientists, drafters, modelers, geologists, management professional, and experienced support personnel. Now let's go to our industry partners. So we have the Crop Pipes Manila, KPMI. The Crop Pipes Manila is a reputable manufacturer of large diameter HDPE pipes, providing everything from standard to custom pipe system, using a cutting-edge equipment supplied by the world's largest manufacturer in Krab, Germany. We also have our Aboitiz Construction, our industry partners. Aboitiz Construction, ACI, is a privately held construction company of the Aboitiz Group, with 50 years of nationwide track record in heavy industries, light industries, infrastructure, and industrial maintenance. They build for business to prosper and for communities to strive. And we are also affiliated with the Philippine Mining Club, one of our club, and Lighthouse Club Manila. And we have our media partners for today, the Philippine Resources and Construction Journal. We have here Marcel Villegas and Miriam. So you can grab a copy of the latest magazine on your table. That's free. And we also have the Manila Times and the Power Philippines. So now, ladies and gentlemen, may I say a few words about our MC for today? Ms. Jemmalene serves as the Director of Business Development for Transport at GHD, where she collaborates with clients to design forward-thinking solutions across major infrastructure sectors, including the rail, roads, bridges, airports, and ports. Her work focuses on co-creating strategies that address the unique challenges and opportunities in these critical areas of transport, ensuring the balance between efficiency, innovation, and sustainability. With 15 years of robust professional experience, Ms. Jemmalene has an extensive background in planning, designing, and overseeing the construction of diverse projects from residential and institutional development to recreational facilities, both locally and internationally. This breadth of expertise equipped her with a well-rounded perspective and technical acumen, making her adept at driving complex projects to successful outcomes. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our MC, Ms. Jemmalene Rubiano.
Thank you so much, Joanne. Good morning, everyone. On behalf, good morning. Okay. Okay. On behalf of the Philippine Infrastructure and Construction Club, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to the 14th PICC Luncheon. I am Jemmalene Rubiano. You can just call me Jem to make it short. And I'm truly delighted to see so many distinguished guests, colleagues, and friends gathered here today. We are also honored to have with us our valued members from the Philippine Infrastructure and Construction Club, and of course, our dedicated marketing partners whose generous support makes this event possible. Thank you for being here and for continuously standing with us in advancing conversations in the construction industry. So today's luncheon is more than just a meal. It is an opportunity to learn from our outstanding speakers, to gain insights that can inform our work, and also foster stronger connections through networking. I encourage you all to enjoy the presentations, engage with other speakers, and take full advantage of this gathering of minds and opportunities. We would like to extend our sincere appreciation to the esteemed leaders and key stakeholders of the construction industry whose unwavering support and active participation in programs and events such as luncheons continue to drive collaboration and pave the way forward to progressive and sustainable future for our industry. So we will be issuing certificate of attendance to all attendees. You can request a copy from the PMC admin through info@picc.com.ph. And then also, we will hold our question and answer after all the speakers have presented. All right. Our first speaker. So, Sebastian Aboitiz. He is the Deputy Chief Operating Officer of ACI Plus, where he leads operational excellence, strategic execution, and the expansion of Aboitiz Construction's asset lifecycle solution portfolio. With his background in renewable energy, engineering, and project development, he has worked on key energy initiatives across Asia and Africa. Sebastian brings multidisciplinary experience in project management, strategic planning, and business development to support ACI Plus' continued growth and innovation. To talk about ACI Plus, ACI at 50, our journey of resilience and excellence, let us all welcome Mr. Sebastian Aboitiz.
Morning, everyone. To the officers and members of the Philippine Infrastructure and Construction Club, fellow industry leaders, partners, friends, thank you for the opportunity to share our story here today. Last October, Aboitiz Construction marked its 50th year in the industry, and we look back on those 5 decades. What stands out is not only the number of projects we've completed, but the journey of resilience, transformation, and continuous evolution that has shaped who we are today. Because Aboitiz Construction's story has never been just about structures. It's always been about enabling industries, supporting economic growth, and helping build the foundations that allow businesses and communities to prosper. And through every era, one principle has remained constant. We strive to be engineered for excellence. So going back in time, our roots trace back to the 1970s. In 1975, Gorones Development Corporation was established as a civil works contractor. A few years later, the Aboitiz Group acquired High Speed Engineering, which eventually became Metafil, which I'm sure a lot of you guys know in the industry previously, right? At the time, the company was much smaller and operating in a very different economic environment. The Philippine construction industry was still developing, projects were limited, and competition for opportunities was intense. But even then, the company already carried the mindset that continues to define us today. Deliver quality work, execute reliably, and build long-term trust. Those early years shaped the discipline and work ethic that remain embedded in our culture. Like many companies in this industry, our growth was never linear. We experienced periods of political uncertainty, economic downturn, and industry disruptions that tested our resilience. In the early 1980s, the country experienced significant instability. Then in 1997, the Asian financial crisis severely affected the construction and infrastructure sectors across the region. Projects slowed down, investments became uncertain, and survival became a real challenge for many companies. But those difficult periods also taught us valuable lessons, that resilience is built through discipline, through adaptability, and through people who continue to move forward even during uncertainty. Those experiences shaped Aboitiz Construction into a company that learned how to evolve, recover, and emerge stronger. One of the defining principles that emerged during those years was a simple phrase introduced by one of our former leaders, the late Bobby Aboitiz, Bugsay Takauban. Roughly translated, it means let us grow together. This became more than a slogan, it became a philosophy in ACI. Because in construction, no project succeeds through individual effort alone. Execution requires alignment between operations teams, project managers, skilled workers, partners, suppliers, and clients. And I believe this is something our entire industry understands very well. The best infrastructure projects are built not only through technical capability, but through collaboration and shared accountability. That culture of teamwork and resilience became one of the strongest foundations of Aboitiz Construction. Over the years, ACI evolved from supporting internal projects into becoming a contributor to larger industrial and economic development initiatives. ACI supported Aboitiz Transport by fabricating and assembling its truck trailers and constructing its warehouses, the first examples of our synergies with the group. In the 90s, ACI started construction of the Trans-Central Highway, which connects the eastern coast of Cebu to Balamban. At the time, Balamban was still a relatively quiet municipality, but infrastructure connectivity opened opportunities for industrial development and economic activity. That highway eventually helped support the development of the West Cebu estate and strengthened partnerships that contributed to Balamban becoming one of the country's major shipbuilding hubs. Today, nearly 400 vessels have been launched from that area. For us, that project represents something important. Infrastructure is never just about physical assets. Well-planned infrastructure creates access, it enables industries, it generates jobs, and it creates long-term economic value far beyond the project itself. As the years progressed, Aboitiz Construction became more deeply involved in supporting integrated industrial ecosystems. Beyond delivering infrastructure projects, some of the foundations for what would later become Aboitiz Land and the early beginnings of Aboitiz economic estates were also established through initiatives that originated within ACI. Projects such as the Mactan Economic Zone 2 reflect this broader evolution, bringing together industrial estates, manufacturing facilities, logistics assets, power infrastructure, and marine facilities into integrated economic hubs that support long-term business growth and employment generation. Modern industrial growth is no longer isolated. It requires reliable power, water systems, transport connectivity, logistics infrastructure, financial ecosystems, and operational support working together. And this shift continues to shape how infrastructure developers and contractors create value today. Early this decade, the company entered into another important chapter in its evolution. So Aboitiz Construction underwent a major rebranding aligned with the Aboitiz Group's great transformation. At the same time, the company achieved its quadruple A PICC license classification and began expanding into industrial maintenance and services. These milestones reflect Aboitiz Construction's continued growth beyond traditional construction, strengthening its capabilities, expanding its services, and reinforcing its role in supporting the country's industrial and infrastructure development. Another important evolution of Aboitiz Construction was expanding beyond fabrication into a broader engineering and construction organization. Over time, the company developed capabilities across heavy industries, including power plants, oil and gas facilities, chemical and cement plants, and mining facilities, light industries such as manufacturing, logistics hubs, and commercial developments, and still infrastructure, which includes land developments, marine works, transmission lines, and substations across the country. Engineered for Excellence reflects how we approach our work today. For us, excellence is not defined by scale alone. It means delivering cost-efficient solutions on time without compromising quality and safety. It means understanding that every facility, plant, and infrastructure asset we build supports industries, communities, and economic growth. And in an industry where trust is built over decades, we believe consistency matters just as much as capability. In recent years, the construction industry has continued to evolve rapidly. Clients today expect faster execution, greater efficiency, better cost visibility, and stronger operational integration. To respond to these shifts, Aboitiz Construction underwent significant operational transformation. We modernized systems, strengthened processes, embraced digital tools, invested in technologies such as machine control systems to improve precision, productivity, and execution efficiency in construction operations. At the same time, we continue to strengthen our safety culture and operational discipline, achieving millions of safe man-hours across projects nationwide and earning industry recognition for excellence in safety, quality, and project execution. But transformation is not only about technology, it's also about culture, building organizations that are agile, collaborative, and accountable, and prepared to evolve alongside changing industry demands. Today, the infrastructure sector is entering another important phase of change. The conversation is no longer focused on how assets are built. Increasingly, the focus is shifting towards how infrastructure is sustained, how facilities are operational, how infrastructure is sustained, how facilities remain operational, and how assets continue creating value throughout their life cycle. And these shifts are shaping the next chapter of Aboitiz Construction. We recognize that the future of the industry will require greater integration, stronger operational reliability, and a longer-term perspective on infrastructure value creation. And for Aboitiz Construction, this means continuing to evolve, not only as builders of infrastructure, but as long-term partners in sustaining industries, enabling resilience, and supporting communities. Thank you all very much.
Everyone, let us all give a round of applause to Mr. Sebastian Aboitiz for his sharing of the 50th experience of Aboitiz Construction. We truly appreciate the perspectives that he shared with us today, so setting the tone to meaningful discussions on our industry. At this point, we will be taking a lunch break, so please enjoy and take this opportunity to connect with our fellow guests and colleagues. The program will resume in about an hour, so we kindly ask everyone to be back in their seats, and then we will continue the program. Thank you and enjoy your lunch. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. We'll now resume our presentation. So it is now my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Mr. Antonio Peñalver. He is the Executive Director of Aboitiz Construction, leading the company's strategic direction and operational performance across its construction and maintenance businesses. His decades of leadership experience span the entire construction industry value chain, enabling him to significantly expand the company's capabilities and strengthen its position in the industry. To talk about ushering new era from building to sustaining excellence, let us all welcome Mr. Antonio Peñalver.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I don't like to be the one after lunch because I have this feeling, right, that everyone is going to be kind of lazy and so on. But anyways, thanks that the food wasn't that much, so I guess that helps. All right, so I'm very happy of being here today, right, because this is my second time invited by the PICC. Thank you so much, PICC, by the way, for your continued support to ACI, and thank you, friends, for being here. It is, for me, a real pleasure to present a little bit about what's been our journey these last years, right? Sebastian shared earlier that the Aboitiz construction's first 50 years were really defined by a continuous evolution, no? And I do believe we are a success story within our industry. But success is never a straight line. And through our journey, honestly, we've kept always as our strategic North Star our foundational values of customer service, excellence, and always a long-term focus as an Aboitiz own company. In 2021, we began what has been really the largest transformation in our history, which it unfolded in 4 stages. We call it, by the way, the Great Transformation. The Great Transformation for ACI is to transform the company from who we were, a steel fabrication shop called Metafil, to whom we want to become by 2030, which is an asset management company and a premier construction company. And we define premier construction company as a company that delivers excellence in each and every single project. And as Sebastian shared, excellence for us is on-time completion of cost-efficient solutions with quality and safety. And why we define it on this way? Very simple. Because we don't know how it's going to be the market 10 years from now, but I do believe that our clients, they will want projects with a fair price, with a decent quality, with certain levels of safety, and probably without delays, right? So that's why for us is what we define as excellence, right? So during these years, we've been working, modernizing processes, strengthening our operations. We invested in technology. We improved collaboration. And the most important is that we challenge ourselves, right? To rethink the role that we wanted to play as a business moving forward. And through analyzing the industry, we arrived at several key realizations. Maybe this is a little bit controversial, but allow me to share some data which, from our end, we believe, well, it was part of our decision-making process. So first, from our perspective, the construction market faces, in the Philippines, 2 major challenges. First is the size of the market. I'm presenting here 2 basic KPIs. The one on the left, easy to understand, the overall construction market size, and you divide it in the population, right, per country. No need to explain where we are. The second on the right is a basic KPI very much used to compare the stage of development of the infrastructure development in different countries, cement consumption per capita. No need to explain where we are. We are even below countries with stagnant economies like the European Union. The second problem of our market is that this is a market highly fragmented. Many players, and even those companies on top of the rankings, are pretty small compared with others. And I'm comparing now at the bottom with Spain, not because it's my birth country, but if there is something that maybe the only thing that Spanish companies, sorry for my French friend, but there is something that the Spanish companies we are leaders at is really in construction. And out of the domestic market, the top 5 companies, they have 10% of the revenue. You get the top 5 companies in revenue in the Philippines, 2%. Ridiculous, right? So that's why for us, it was crystal clear that we had to diversify beyond construction. But those were not our only 2 problems. We have more. Because typically construction companies, they diversify in power, they diversify into infrastructure development, they diversify into real estate. Well, no need to explain, right? Everything is taken. So that's why we came up with a different solution. Today, infrastructure owners and industrial operators face increasing complexity. Assets are becoming more technologically advanced. Operational downtime is more costly. Sustainability has started to be in the Philippines, as part of the roadmap. And definitely there is a lot of pressure, no need to say, to increase efficiency and life cycle performance. And we identified that clients increasingly expect integrated solutions, development, construction, and long-term support. That's why one of the clearest opportunities that we identified was maintenance and life cycle support. What's happening today across many different industries is that our clients, they have different operational needs with different service providers: maintenance, facilities management, fleet support, shutdown services, specialized manpower, and any other operational requirements, scaffolding, rental of equipment, different service providers. This is tremendously fragmented, with creating inefficiencies, coordination gaps, and operational challenges. So we saw an opportunity to provide a more integrated approach. Sorry. But not only as an additional service offering, crystal clear for us is helping our clients, our existing clients from our construction business, where we build power plants, we build oil and gas facilities, we help to build mines, cement plants, etc., ports, jetties, manufacturing facilities. We want to help them to improve their operational continuity, efficiency, and reliability. That's why we launched ACI Plus in 2025. So this is our expansion into maintenance and asset lifecycle solutions. And the name, thanks to our marketing guys, by the way, very good, I love it, means performance, lasting value, uptime, and service. And this is not just a complement. It is a strategic movement to support the clients across a broader portion of the asset life cycle, construction, commissioning, to maintenance, reliability, and long-term operational support. So we believe this integrated approach creates a stronger value for clients through improved reliability, reduced downtime, longer asset life, and more efficient operations. And obviously, it strengthens our organization because we are able of building longer partnerships with our clients. We can keep stickier relationships with our clients, and we don't need to be continuously searching for new projects, right? Because it brings a recurring component, therefore long-term focus into our company. So at the end of the day, we believe our role is not only to build critical assets, also to help our partners, clients, to operate and thrive long after construction is completed. And today in 2026, I can tell you our industrial maintenance division, or ACI Plus, is not just a support function or a dream. So out of our 4,200 team members as of today, we have 1,500 under ACI Plus, 2,700 under ACI Construction Business Segment. So it's a strategic function directly creating value for our clients in productivity, safety, asset longevity, operational resilience, and business continuity. In 2025, ACI Plus was 20% of our revenue. That speaks already by itself. Year to date is even more, and this year should be more. So we believe as well, we know infrastructure assets across the country continue to mature. The importance of the life cycle optimization will only continue to grow, right? As usual, we are still optimistic about the Philippine infrastructure. There are always ups and downs, but we are optimistic from ACI. The country continues to require significant investment in transportation, energy, water, industrial facilities, digital infrastructure, disaster preparedness. And we see some, not all, but some infrastructure owners are becoming more focused on long-term performance, resilience, and operational sustainability. That's an opportunity for us. And these trends will continue reshaping how infrastructure are planned, delivered, and sustained. No? And of course, for ACI is opportunity, obviously, through innovation, through change, continuous learning. But at the end of the day, those are opportunities for us. As we celebrate our 50th year, we are proud of the more than 1,100 projects we have delivered across the country in many industries. But we are very excited about the future. No? The launch of ACI Plus is only one of many initiatives. In the coming weeks, we will be announcing publicly a corporate operation that we will be, we are about to close, by the way, with a foreign partner to bring international standards in industrial maintenance to the Philippines. We will continue strengthening, as usual. What it moves us is the long term. And again, there are ups and downs, but we do believe in the long term as organization and as a business. The next chapter of ACI is not only about building infrastructure, it's about sustaining industries, supporting operational resilience, and helping to create ecosystems that really contribute to the national growth of the Philippines. And through all these changes, one commitment remains constant, to be engineer of us for excellence. Thank you very much. Look forward for the discussion.
Okay, we are now opening the question and answer to all our audiences. Anyone who would like to ask our speakers?
Hi, my name is Fernando Achabal. I'm with FLS Group, which is a logistics company. Anyway, for Antonio, just curious about your the Aboitiz Construction Plus. When you guys are doing maintenance, so that's just the physical work, or you're including the procurement of all the needed spare parts, whatever it is for that maintenance? I'm just curious how far scope you're doing.
Thank you so much for the question, Fernando. As usual, pleasure. So, okay, I will start, but I do suggest that you expand further because you're more into the details, right? So what we are doing today is we are present in coal power plants, heavy fuel power plants, cement, mining, geothermal, Mactanse Airport, one of the largest bulk water and water treatment plant in the Philippines in Davao, right? Breeder farms, even. So basically 22. So to make it short, our scope in terms of industry is all kind of industries. And with the partner that I said earlier that we are bringing into the Philippines, we'll do specific area of maintenance, right? Now, regarding the scope, I think much better if Sebastian is the one answering.
Yeah, no, I mean, the general ambition is that eventually we're at a point where we can do the full O&M, right? That's the ambition. Service level agreement, let the owners then focus on their own operations and then outsource everything, right? But we're basically moving with how the industry is evolving. So now it's starting with, people are slowly moving from manpower agency to more SLA-based types of contracts, more specialized procurement, but we're growing at that same rate, right? So in some of our contracts, we're already doing this full SLA approach. In others, it's specialized services here and there. Even in others, it's lower down in the value chain, doing helpers for specialized guys. So the ambition is to eventually cover all levels in that value chain. But obviously, we have to evolve how the clients decide to evolve, right? So we're starting to see that, but progress is still slow since people rely a lot on in-house or manpower agencies.
So while waiting for audience to ask, I'll ask some questions also to the speakers. So Mr. Antonio, I'm excited about understanding the projects that you are working right now. So what are the projects you are executing and how does the pipeline look like?
So maintenance, we are 22 projects. On the construction side, like 20, I think. 15 projects, sorry. Ramesh is our Chief Operating Officer for construction. Construction, we are building right now several land development projects in Batangas and in Tarlac. We are building college. We don't do buildings, but in this case it's a long-term client, and we are building a private college in building in Cebu, Mactan. We just completed one manufacturing facility in Lima for a food manufacturing company. We completed another bakery in Davao for another food manufacturing company. We completed 2 piers in Mindanao. We continue engaged in shipbuilding. As I don't know if we were in the slide. The Aboitiz group, we own 20% of a shipyard in Cebu, and Aboitiz Construction is we provide also manpower to build the ships. Specifically like 1,600 people every day. Yeah, quite a number of projects. The pipeline, I think everyone knows there's a slight slowdown, but the pipeline for us still looks pretty decent. And the same sectors as we work in typically, which is basically we are working in some opportunities for mining, for light industries as well, airport expansion. So yeah, the pipeline looks well. Not like maybe 2 years ago, definitely. There is a general slowdown, we can say, but still for us, we cannot complain. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Christophe here with Sika. Just a quick question on the general environment for construction, especially on the public side. You see what's happening for the last year. And what do you think of the PPP project? Would it be something, an instrument that could be considered by your company for future way of expansion?
Okay, so we are Aboitiz Construction, right? So we don't, as a matter of basis, we don't invest in infrastructure because we have Aboitiz Infra Capital, right? So we, ACI, we may look at smaller opportunities that probably is not interesting for them, but still for us makes sense, right? So that from the investment perspective. From the construction perspective, yes, of course, we are always interested in supporting developers at our level as contractor in any PPP project, right? So I think, and hopefully actually the pipeline of PPP will be stronger and stronger, no? Because I think as everyone knows right now, the debt to GDP ratio in the Philippines 65%, which is the highest since 2005. So which it means that the government, if they want to build infrastructure, we suppose they have to go to a model where they get private sector supporting, right? So that's, and obviously from our side, more than happy and willing to support other private companies.
Okay, while waiting again for the audience, let me ask Sebastian some questions. So I was actually interested with the term you said, buksay ta kauban. So as Aboitiz Constructions remain resilient across multiple economic and industry, how do you probably correlate those, how buksay ta kauban?
No, I think that's basically how we believe that we're staying resilient across all of these ups and downs, right? Obviously, our people are very important in order for us to be able to actually deliver these projects continuously and efficiently, right? So that buksay kind of philosophy is still there with us today. I mean, it's part of our HR strategy. It's part of the KPIs that we set in the company. So it's something that still remained with us and is still very active today, right? And I believe that piece of our culture is what's keeping us resilient throughout all these ups and downs.
Another question, Sebastian. As infrastructure projects become more complex and asset owners demand longer-term reliability, how is Aboitiz Construction evolving beyond traditional construction delivery?
I think, I mean, we touched it in the first question, right? But basically, we see that the maintenance and, well, ACI Plus as our expansion will allow us to serve our clients better, right? By taking over part of the scope that they don't necessarily need to have in-house or they're not necessarily experts at, allows them to then focus on their own operations, right? So we can take out one part of the headache in this equation and people can focus on their day-to-day operations and optimize that and leave the rest to us, right?
Just curious, you're talking about construction industry in general, no? Because right now, again, in logistics, no, we're seeing more and more of Chinese construction companies here, EPC's construction companies here. So what kind of, and their cost is really down, right? That's just, we can't really compete. So how do you see the future of the industry, considering we have all this new competition coming in at a different level? How are you guys countering this kind of thing?
Very good, yeah. So I've been here working for construction in the Philippines, not necessarily based here since December 2014, right? So like 12 years. So in this more than a decade, I've seen actually literally an invasion from Chinese in one segment specific, which is renewable energy, right? The information that I have is that they perform well and they deliver, you know, even with very cost-efficient solutions. My opinion here is the only way to compete is to move away from the crowd and try to deliver, to get two things, right? Number one, try to deliver always excellence, so really upgrade your company to be predictable, reliable, quality, safety. And second point, enter or develop niche capabilities as far as construction is concerned. If you are just a general contractor doing what everyone else does, probably, most likely you will end up competing based on price. But if you deliver, if you develop, example, MEPF capabilities in-house or whatever, I don't know, specialized foundations, so that's gonna move you away from the crowd. That's how we understand it in ACI, how we try to really pivot the company, no? But of course, it's not a one-day job, right? It's really long-term. But for the EPC in renewable, I think we can give up, basically speaking. Because the reason why we cannot compete is very simple, is because they are big companies, not only us, I mean all the other Filipinos as well, right? So they are big companies and they have a vertical integration in the value chain, which we don't have. You know, we don't control the supplier of the panels, we don't control the supplier of the switch gear or whatever, right? So that's why it's absolutely probably almost impossible for now.
From your experience across the construction value chain, what are the biggest execution challenges today, and what needs to change to deliver the project faster and more efficiently?
Of course, if you are working for government, your challenge is right away in payment. Right? Everyone knows. In our case, that we don't do for government right now, we are focused on private sector. Our challenge, it's not really the technical complexity of the projects, right? In the Philippines, how many technically complex projects are right now under construction? Not so many. Maybe the Cavite-Bataan, but the rest, North-South Railway is a typical, me personally built a lot of elevated viaducts, a lot. Expressways, sorry, elevated expressways. A lot means maybe 40 kilometers. So, repeat. But for the typical Filipino contractor like us, or not the typical Filipino contractors like us, that we intend to be really, you know, the top 10 on quality, our challenge is to identify clients who value something else aside of the price. That's a challenge, because it's always, at the end of the day, most of the time it's price-driven competition, and then the challenge is really to find which client is willing to pay a premium, because of course you're not going to be cheaper, but we deliver with quality, we deliver safety, and we deliver fast. That's the point.
Hello, good afternoon. Marcel Villegas from Philippine Resources. My question is, in relation to your upcoming golden anniversary this October, will there be any special activities, events, or new project launch that we can all look forward to? Thank you.
Our anniversary was October 29 last year. Yeah. But we are celebrating the whole year until October 29. No? So yes, we did one event with selected clients, and of course with our team members. We've been celebrating actually practically every month. There is some kind of party or event. Yep.
Again, one more question for Antonio. So you are talking a lot about efficiencies, building faster and everything. So is there any new technology that you are looking at within Aboitiz to introduce in the Philippines, like, I don't know, maybe new precast technologies or maybe 3D printing or something like that? Is something that you are looking at?
Look, you need to find the client who's willing to pay for it. Anyways, aside of that, right now, okay, we are using, so we started in 2021 with most of our earthworks equipment is equipped with the Trimble system, right? So kind of semi-automated, the equipment. That's a tremendous, it's been proven a tremendous increased in efficiency, 20 to 30%, something like this. That's what I know. Other technologies, yes, we are looking at right now solutions more probably for the maintenance side, no? Especially like I saw here someone from Open Space. We tested Open Space in one of our projects, by the way, very good for progress reporting, for safety violations. That's a kind of technology which combines image with AI, and ideally can be connected with your drawings and so on. And we are willing to invest. We don't need necessarily a client, we are willing to invest, right? But at our scale, we want to invest in technologies that are proven. We are not here to test, The rich countries can test, not us. Then here, once it's tested, we implement it, no? That's how we think.
How did ACI decide to diversify into the maintenance and services business?
I think Antonio went into a lot of the detail on this, right? But I mean, the main idea really here is the cyclical nature of construction, right? We wanted to be able to build up some kind of a recurring revenue stream that would allow us to kind of retain a core team of key talent, and basically be able to ride these ups and downs while still providing, proper returns to our shareholders, right? So that's one of the bigger reasons around this.
Hello, I'm AJ from Kurap Earthworking Incorporated. As of now, we're one of the contractor of Republic Cement under Aboitiz Group. So my question is, how can contractors better align with Aboitiz Construction long-term vision for infrastructure development in the Philippines?
Well, I'm willing to meet you. We are willing to meet you, of course, and explore what kind of works we are doing in Republic.
We are a contractor inside the Republic Cement plant.
But which services you provide?
Rental of heavy equipment.
Oh, we are competitors. But anyways, there are no permanent friends, no permanent enemies, no worries.
Yeah.
So we'll find a way. Well, I don't know, right? I think much better you can meet Mervin here. So in 2026,
Hello, sir.
just earlier in 2026, we launched ACI Rentals. It's a new business line. It's a startup. This year, our target is very small in terms of revenue. And Mervin is our head of rentals. It's equipment, fleet management, and services and phone works. That's what we want to cover them.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm Chris San from Leviat, Philippines. I think, Antonio, you mentioned earlier Bataan Cavite Interlink project. And now I think there's Cebu Coastal Road also. And these projects are actually using non-standard rebar sizes. So 41 mm, 43 mm rebars, 51, 53 mm rebars. How do you see this affecting of course we have Philippine national standards, so we have Steel Asia, we have Pag-asa Steel. If right now I don't think they are able to manufacture these sizes, so in turn, we would have to resort to importing these rebars. So maybe I just like to get your comment about this.
Well, I was not aware of that, right? So, I mean, if you ask me my opinion, of course, it doesn't make any sense that we get ODA projects and then we are forced to, because the design standards are following other countries' design standards, right? I think they should really follow the design standards of the Philippines. Or we should be getting the ODA from someone else, but that's only my opinion. Well, honestly, I don't know, right? But it's incredible, if you ask me. I mean, incredible, right? That we end up importing rivers. Come on. It shouldn't be the case.
How do you think the geopolitical tensions happening right now in the Middle East affect the Philippine constructions?
From the supply of materials, obviously the cost of doing business is higher. But the other day I was looking at something very interesting, right? So you can Google it. So you take the price of the oil, I don't have my phone anyways, the price of the oil in 2005 and you correct it based on inflation, it's gonna take you to a $90 per barrel. So the price of the oil in 2005, I don't remember exactly, 59 I think, something like this. You say to Google or ChatGPT, correct it based on inflation, right? $90. And then it seems that the world is going to be upside down because we are paying 102 or 100 right now. So there is something missing here, right? So that's one. Second, from the supply of materials, so far we didn't have any problem. Of course, it's more expensive, but since the Ukraine conflict, we learned, and in all of our contracts we included a clause of, refer to specific commodities, typically, river, cement, fuel. So we can say we are covered. Now, from the demand side, well, as I said earlier, yes, we notice a general slowdown. Why? Because obviously, if you're an investor, why are you going to push through with an investment if most, depending on the project, but fuel and associated, because at the end of the day, rivers is also cement, is around the fuel. It can be 20% of your project, 30% of your project. Why are you going to start, a new investment if you know it's going to be way more expensive? And so, in other words, for me, it's going to take a while until the market realizes that probably the price of the oil is going to remain above $90 for the long run. And so that's how we are affected, supply and demand.
Thank you. Do we have more questions from the audience? Okay. I have two more. So both of you can answer these questions. So if we look forward 5 years from now, how do you say success looks like for Aboitiz construction and then within the Philippine construction?
Maybe I'll answer for ACI Plus and you can answer for construction. No, at least the way I see it in ACI Plus, right? We're evolving this year from being a startup similar to ACI Rentals, where since 2023. It's been more about building up our capabilities and references, right? Now is the evolution to go find external clients and move up the value chain even more, right? So the long-term goal is, as I mentioned earlier, how can we provide O&M to all our clients, right? That's the ambition. Hopefully we'll get close to that in the next 5 years, but let's see.
So my answer is for the business in general. Okay, the business, we say, what's our vision? Our vision is what we want to achieve, 3 things, right? We want to achieve a reputation built on excellence. We want to be an employer of choice, which is not easy, by the way, because it's not only about a nice office and good compensation and benefits, it's really a comprehensive system, right? And third, we want to have sustainable financial performance, which it means unlimited growth. And I explained earlier why we believe construction in the Philippines, if we continue doing only construction in the Philippines, we won't have unlimited growth. So that's why we are doing ACI Plus, the ACI rentals, that's why, so those are the three KPIs for us to measure our potential success: reputation of excellence, employer of choice, and sustainable financial performance.
Yeah, so I would just like to ask, what is the bold move that you will do, either policy, innovations, technology, capabilities? What is that bold move that you will do to for Aboitiz construction to accelerate the Philippine construction industry?
Well, I know it sounds generic, but the reality is this business is about people. So you bring excellent people, you will build an excellent company. You bring class B, you won't build an excellent company. You will build still a, you will make money, right? But so. And you bring class C, let's call it. Class C, you've been in A players, B players, C players, right? As in the business schools I teach. If you bring C players, they will go to bankrupt. So the idea is to bring excellence, right? So the idea is really to build a culture of excellence and and continuous improvement and being able to be resilient, because unfortunately we are lacking resilience lately in the society, right? Everyone, give up. So that's what if you have that team, you will succeed.
So investment with people.
Investment in people, yeah. And investment is not only money, it's also trusting.
So this plaque is a special thank you to Mr. Sebastian Aboitiz in appreciation for being the guest speaker at the 14th Philippine Infrastructure and Construction Club Luncheon held May 22, 2026 at the Seda Beaches. To Mr. Antonio Peñalver.